We strive for certainties, but are obliged to operate within the framework of calculated risks and prudent hopes. All life consists in making the best choices out of less than perfect data. However, we know the basics. It's better not to smoke. It's better not to be overweight. It's better not to have addictions. It's better to stay physically and mentally active. So, out of the big void of uncertainty, I carve for myself a framework of consciousness which says, this is how long I can exist in this world, and I support this decision with everyday choices. Another very important realization that surfaced during this period was that it is the quality and not the quantity of life that counts. Since this notion would not leave my mind, I had no choice but to accept it and begin to research it. Here's what I found. Due to advances in food production and distribution, as well as in medical treatments of later life diseases, human life expectancy is increasing at the rate of about 2 years per decade. The longest verified human life on record is 122 years. Even without accounting for the anticipated increase in human lifespan, any number that we can reasonably conceive in accordance with our mental, physical, and emotional states is valid. Every living organism has an optimal duration of existence. This is the amount of years that they are expected to live under optimal conditions. Whales who live 80 years and shrews who live 2 both have approximately 1.5 billion heartbeats in a lifetime. It is a matter of consciously distributing our given amount of heartbeats over our lifetime. Thus, we can understand our duration and then by good choices realize it, a healthy mind in a healthy body. Now, let's address some healthy skepticism. This is not a fact, but a potential. Something that might come true if we make the right decisions. Faith is an essential component in acquiring this new skill, but this faith is based on clear understanding of oneself and of how the world operates. So what do we currently know of how the world operates? Latest science tells us that approximately 14 billion years ago, a phenomenon we call the Big Bang occurred, and it resulted in the release of matter and energy. What happened before the Big Bang, we don't currently know for certain. We only have assumptions. At about 4.6 billion years ago, planet Earth forms from the stellar ash that had been released during the Big Bang. Now, we humans are made of the same building blocks of which the planets and stars are made. We are a product of the same cosmic forces. Every atom in our body comes from planet Earth, which in turn is made of the same elements of which everything else in the universe is made. We move through space with the other celestial bodies, and the same consciousness that informs those celestial bodies obviously informs our physical bodies. At about 3.5 billion years ago, first living microbes appear on Earth. And at about 2.4 billion years ago, plant and animal life are already abundant on Earth. At about 200 million years ago, mammals arise, and at about 65 million years ago, primates emerge. At about 7 million years ago, bipedalism evolves as Homo hominids diverge from the family of the great apes. And at about 200,000 years ago, what is considered anatomically modern humans emerge. Let's skip forward to the year 1530 of Common Era, when Copernicus completes on the revolution of the celestial spheres, which introduces the awareness that the Earth is not at the center of the universe, but revolves around the sun. This was a very brief, selective history of the universe. It took 14 billion years for the universe to evolve from the moment of the Big Bang to the present moment at this hall. But the potential, the premise of this moment existed right there at the Big Bang. Between the reality of the Big Bang and the present reality in this hall, there are 14 billion years of very particular chemical, biological, and physical processes, of planet alignments, of temperature adjustments, and ongoing shifts of consciousness. Only 5 centuries ago, the brightest minds on this planet, philosophers and scholars very much like the brightest minds that have spoken at this conference over these days, were convinced that the Earth was at the center of the universe. Let's think for a second about the radical shift of consciousness the bizarre heliocentric theory required at the time. It was against the very experience of nature. Before that, the sun rose and set to mark the day, and the moon rose and set to mark the night, and there was order in the world. And this was only 500 years ago, which in the cosmic perspective is a blink of an eye. I believe that 500 years from now, sensing how much energy our body contains will be as mundane as sensing if we're hungry or not. So consciousness in the universe has been unfolding for the past 14 billion years since the Big Bang. We humans, the most advanced conduit of consciousness in the universe, are at the present stage of evolution and have not reached our final form. The perception of our duration is a natural step in our future progress. Now, we keep wondering whether on a tiny planet in a corner of the galaxy, which is one of millions of galaxies in a vast and expanding universe, whether on this tiny planet we can be the only form of intelligence in the entire world. The simple answer is that we don't know. Or, according to the data available to us today, we are the most advanced consciousness in the universe. This is not a self-satisfied pat on the back of humankind. It is a simple statement of currently known facts. The human brain is the most complex computational machine currently known to exist in the universe, and the human mind, housed in this brain, is the primary known conveyor of consciousness in the cosmos. Growing cosmic consciousness and the evolution of humankind are happening concurrently through us as we explore alongside the galaxies at large the vast reservoirs of knowledge stored in our genetic makeup. Our physical bodies and celestial bodies are different dimensions of the same unified whole. As we come to understand more about the processes taking place inside us, we simultaneously wake the universe to higher consciousness in a mutually dependent evolution of spiritual and scientific awareness. However, being a very pragmatic person whose feet are firmly on the ground, to me all this fancy theorizing must be tested in reality. For the past 19 years, I have been a case study of the perception that we can sense how long we can live, and it enables me to be the best version of myself at 51 without the use of drugs, pills, or enhancements of any kind. Seeing the entire structure of our life also enables us to see our present position in the perspective of the entire journey, which gives us a healthy psychological distance from which to deal with periodic stress and anxieties. In the simplest analogy, the perception of our duration can be compared to driving a car without a fuel gauge. Let's say we are planning a trip of 1,000 kilometers. In front of us there are 2 vehicles, equal in everything except one has a fuel gauge and the other doesn't. Now, mind you, we will be able to complete the journey in the vehicle without a fuel gauge, but which one of these vehicles will give us more control, peace of mind, and mastery? Understanding our duration also gives us the ability to manage and distribute our energy in the manner that we like. Now, lifespan seminars consist of 2 main parts, philosophy and practice. Philosophy goes in much deeper detail into the subjects to which today we only have time to refer briefly. The second part, practice, consists of guided workshops of relaxation, meditation, mental imagery, body consciousness, and active listening techniques, which are designed to help participants locate the perception of the duration in themselves. However, understanding our optimal duration is only the first part of the equation. The second important part is acquiring a framework of self-management skills which will allow us to make this potential a reality. The most important components in optimizing our lifespan potential are breathing, because breath is at the foundation of everything, and everything begins with breath. Good nutrition, because quite simply what we eat becomes our body. Rest, to allow the body to regain its equilibrium. And active lifestyle to keep the body and mind fit. Being the best version of ourselves at every age also means that we can look down the road and see how we can make ourselves be a healthy 75-year-old or a healthy 85-year-old active and engaged in life. Granted, in an 85-year-old body, but the best version of the body at that age. As we said, all these techniques are designed to help participants gain confidence in their own intuition and come to understand and trust their bodies. Because finally, this is a gift that you give to yourself. In your body, the entire universe is contained. The knowledge is not out there, the knowledge is in here. Simply put, body consciousness equals cosmic consciousness. You're welcome to read the program at lifespanseminar.com, and now I'll be glad to take some questions. Any questions? Yes, please.
I have a question.
Yes.
It's a very nice presentation. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You mentioned earlier. Sorry. You mentioned earlier in one of your slides, human form is the only. It's not the only ultimate form. There's more. You said, or maybe I understood it wrong. What do you mean by do you feel that there's other forms we may attain later on at some point? In your opinion, is that what you're saying?
No, I think you did misunderstand me respectfully. The way I basically see it, we are of the universe. We are the universe. We are made of the universe. Just like planet Earth or this table, or we are made of the same building blocks. As far as we know right now, we are the consciousness, the purveyor of consciousness in the universe. So what we understand, the world understands itself through us. Now, again, it's not jingoistic. It's just a fact that we understand today. Today, consciousness is evolving through us, our brains and how we communicate to each other. So however, we are only at this time. The entire future is ahead of us, so there is a lot more for us to discover out there and in here. Because in here is a dimension of out there. I believe that there is a lot more information inside of us that we have not discovered yet. Let's say only 100 years ago, we did not fly. We had no concept of flying, let's say 150 years ago. And then we flew. And when we started flying, people were not only afraid to go on airplanes, but many people resisted the idea of flying because they believed that humans are terrestrial animals who are not supposed to go in the air. Okay? So obviously times change. So change is the nature of life. And I believe that perception, which is basically the optimal duration of resistance, boils down to awareness of our energies inside, understanding how much energy we have and how to tend to this energy in the best manner. So that perception, I believe, is only another latent capacity in us which we have not discovered yet.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else?